What's up, y'all? I'm Jay. In this video particular, this is a snippet from a live stream that I just got through doing. Basically, I was working on getting this PR, and then at some point in this PR, things got a little hairy. My history got jacked up, and luckily my good friend Mike, who works on the warehouse, the PyPI warehouse, decided to help me with a little bit of git fixing. This will be one of a few videos that I put out from this stream, just because Mike and I wound up talking for almost an hour on just different things. But I wanted to create a smaller version of this just so that people who are maybe running into the same problem in their files can have a good way to look at this and solve it. So without further ado, like the video, comment below on other challenges that you might have, and yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, but first let's take a look at what our git what our main branch looks like. Right, so you're behind origin main by 6 commits.
Which would be the changes that we just made.
Would it? Because why would they be on main?
Oh, good point. Good point. Oh, yeah, my local is behind. Yes.
And when you rebase your local against, when you rebrace your flaky test branch against your local main, your main is not in sync with the upstream or origin main.
Okay. So
let's pull down. That is, yeah.
Okay. That's accurate, and I think we can even see. Look at that. Yep. The thing I was looking for here was this version, because there was a version update.
So now if we check out your branch and rebase against the local main, we will probably only see, well, we'll see a few things.
Okay, so then we...
So you see how it dropped the the commits that already exist there?
Interesting. Oh. Yeah. Actually, it looked like it did what we wanted it to do.
Well, now it looks like it's missing your commit.
Well, this is my commit right here. Well, actually, is it my commit? Is there a way I can see the... This is the thing that always gets me with Git, is that if I want to do git diff, not git diff, but like git diff of the last commit? Like head.
Yeah, that'll do it. Oh, you've got some trailing white space in there.
Okay, this is actually good because I need to run black anyway.
Okay.
Take care of that.
Yep.
I just wanted to verify async test commit. Okay, yeah. So this is good. Okay. Again, I only did things in tests, so I don't want to. I don't know fully what. Oh, path test does not exist. Do I need to do
tests?
Tests. Good point. Yep, that's good. That's good. Those are the 3 that should have been done. Diff. Okay. Looks like white.
You could add a -B for white space only ignore to your git diff.
-B.
Yeah.
Like boundary, basically?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, what was it? Kit F ignore white space. Oh, sorry. Was it -W? Yeah. Well, I can't ever remember flags. So you see, the only stuff here is formatting.
Okay. Cool.
Like the white space or like the white space at the beginning or trailing at the word boundary are gone, but like a full line is represented near the bottom here.
Gotcha. Very cool. Okay, so this, frustrating enough, another thing that probably should have been rebased into the one.
Mm-hmm.
But this is easy because then I can just.
So I would not amend it. Let's add a fresh commit and say, formatting or whatever. Yep.
And then, come on. Okay, great. And then we do git rebase.
Let's do an interactive rebase.
Yep. -I head -1.
Not head, but main.
Main. Oh.
Because we still want to go against main. We want to ship our commit structure against main.
Okay. And then we would do.
For some reason, I can't see the top half of the window here. That's weird.
It's a pick. It's the two commits at the top. One's a pick. Well, they were both picks, but I would basically just pick and squash.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep.
And then in the message, combination of two. This message is just all over the place, but that's perfectly fine. We can probably clean this up and just do adds is close checks to flaky geotest signed off by me, and then we'll just make this a nice little list. Yep, don't need that twice. Does the signed off have to be at the bottom? I don't know where the signed off has to be.
It's usually the last line of the commit message.
Okay, so we can just take this down all the way to the bottom and put it there. The signed off thing is definitely one of those that are a little that's new for me. Don't hate it, just hate how VS Code doesn't really appreciate it or make it easy to include.
Oh no, you need it above the comment lines.
I need it above the comment lines. Okay, that's doable.
Well, actually, no, that's probably fine as well, because the rebase should dump all of those extra lines.
Okay. Okay, so now, okay. I don't hate it. I like it. Their change, all the stuff that they did. Just want to make sure there's nothing else in there that looks right. Our change adds geochecks to comp test, uses close to check float values, rename check to assert geo is close, update assert is geotest, and then format with black. Seems fair. And then we push that, or no, that's already pushed? It's not already pushed. And this is where I got messed up the last time. It's like, now it's saying I need to pull 5 down, but I need to push 1 up.
So this is where your previous rebase incorporated the local changes. Mm-hmm. And then, sorry, they didn't have the local changes. And then on GitHub, you did a merge in. Mm-hmm. So you got the upstream changes in your branch. So now your personal fork, aka origin, has a copy of this branch that has commits on it that you don't want. So the way to override your branch is you force push. You say, my branch is the correct one, and I force push this branch to branch. This is another reason why I never touch the main branch of a fork, because if I'm merging in or touching the main, I've now kind of polluted the mainline upstream kind of logical history.
Okay. I like that. Okay, so we can get push force. We can push force on our local.
So local now overrides origin. And if you go to your browser, you should see the impact of that.
Okay, heading to the browser. We do not want this PR, so that can go away. We can go to our flaky test, and we look at the history. We have that change, and we have only that change, which is good. Before I just double check that. It does show us one commit ahead over main,
which is exactly what you want.
Yes. Okay, so I think we're good. So in the future, I just want to make sure I got the right pattern here. So in the future, I would make my commits. I would go over to main. I would pull from upstream. I would go back to my local branch. I would rebase from main to include all of those changes in the right order. And then I would push my changes to my local branch. And as long as I do
so you never kind of push to a local branch, you push your local branch to origin. Right. So your origin is your fork.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. I think same idea, wrong words for me on my end. And yeah, as long as I don't push my local changes to origin first, I shouldn't have to push force. Everything should move in.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is one of those beautiful parts of Git is like at no point did we kind of lose any of the references despite it looking kind of wonky or things out of order. We still have the discrete change set that you wrote that you want to apply. It's just how do we make sure that the universe is kind of in synchronization? We didn't have to delete the branch. We didn't have to cherry pick it elsewhere. It's just getting things in the right order.
Very cool. And I mean, we kind of already talked about it of like this. To me, the rebasing side of things is already one of those that are like, should you have to rebase all of your changes into one commit before you submit the PR, where that's a thing that GitHub does, where when you
so you mean squash.
Yeah.
So the rebase, the rebase thing for, the way I mentally model it is, the universe of changes is kind of moving if we visualize it as a continuum of a line going downwards, right? Yeah. So the changes are happening. And if we have a fork point off, that's when we forked. That's when we started our branch, right? We branched off from that point. More changes are here. More changes are here. A rebase, scrolling up, a rebase is where I take my changes and I say I would like to rebase them however many they are on the top of or the tip of the upstream branch or main, right? Whereas a squash is I want to take those and I want to squash them down and rebase them, right? So GitHub can squash on merge and rebase it on merge. And we often rely on GitHub to tell us if there's a merge conflict, if the code isn't going to work. Yeah. Why some projects want you to have it up to date is so that way any kind of changes and your tests and new tests and code are all kind of being tested the same way. So if you introduce a new behavioral change that hasn't been tested in this kind of middle spot, then we risk breaking the main branch because that wasn't the order things were tested in.
I like this. Okay, so Keith is saying once we're through all of this, can we? I'm hoping that what we've just said explains a lot of what we were doing. But for those that, and I might clip. I wish I could take like this as a snippet of a video that's like how to fix your weird mistakes in Git, part 8679. The flow was helpful. It's a helpful way to follow it. Okay, so just for completion's sake, the mistake was twofold. Instead of pulling the changes in from main, I rebase them. Hold on, I'm trying to think about this. No, sorry. Instead of rebasing the changes from main, I think I merged them directly, which put them on top of my existing history and added more history to it. So where I only had 3 commits that needed to be there, I actually wound up adding their commits as well. So I had a total of like 5, plus the one that is the merge. So six total. There should have only been really 1, but 3 would have made sense. And then I would have at least got figured out where I was. So what we did to fix that was we went to our local copy of main. We pulled from that because we pulled from upstream onto our local copy of main because it didn't have those changes. Next, in our branch, we rebased from main again. And what that did is it saw the commit messages and it basically said, okay, I thought the commit messages were up here. Turns out they were down here. I'm going to move these down here because they already exist in history. We can't have them in 2 places. So when we combine them, the top ones, the new ones get deleted. And I think that there's a command, there is like a, isn't there like a command for that where you can say keep the newer ones or keep the older ones?
Yeah, there's a couple of different merge strategies and rebase strategies, which the specifics elude me at this point because I haven't needed to get into those for a while.
I often tell people that if you're doing that with any regularity, it's time to change your Git strategy.